Hey everybody, got another video here for you. Okay, time to get to measuring here. Looks like we're around 480. Yeah, I think we're going to call that 482. Okay, so if the nut line to the heel is 482 millimeters, and we're doing a 648 scale length, that means we need 166 millimeters from the heel to the saddle line. So our distance from here to here, or here to here, is going to be 166 millimeters. Okay, for the saddle, we're looking at 140 millimeters wide. And this is important, roughly how tall, because we need some break angle back behind it. I'm going to go with the string through as the simplest type of tailpiece, sticking with the keep it simple thing for this entire build. Plus also that's kind of like, that should work well with the whole like a cello, like a violin kind of a vibe. Even though I'm not exactly sure what they do at the tailpiece. Okay, so yeah, so the basic idea there is, right, here's our bridge, and however tall this is, we don't want too steep of a break angle if this thing's going to be floating, or else we'll have a tendency to push that way. So I'm figuring if we go whatever this height is, if we go twice as far back, that should give us around a 30-degree kind of a thing going on. Not exactly, probably, but close enough that this thing won't. Anyway, I should even go 3. Yeah, 3 might be better. Alright, well, what do we got here? When this thing is all the way down, it's at about, it's at about 35 millimeters in the middle. Maybe even 37. Alright, well, once it's got a little adjustment, it might be 40 millimeters tall. So maybe go back 120 millimeters to the string through. It'd be a very gentle slope. Go back 80. 80 would probably be enough. That's what I was thinking if we're calling this 40 tall once it's adjusted. Then go back 80 would be here. And that's probably enough. Get you guys at a better angle, guys and girls. Alright, so here's our thing, and it's, let's say, like right about where my finger is, at about 40 millimeters. And so if we go back 80, our string through would be back here, which gives us an angle about like that. And that's not too bad. The other choice is if we go 3 to 1, and we're back at 120, which would be more like that. Actually, well, but then again, this has no grooves. You might want a slightly tighter angle to keep stuff from slipping around. So, and I don't think that at this angle it's going to be enough to push the bridge that way. So, this will give it, if you go 120, it'll give it a bit of a more jangly feel, which might be a bad thing being a fretless. So maybe you go 80. Get back up there. That's roughly 80. A little past, but good enough for government work. It's actually close to 80 right there, where it's actually touching the paper. So, yeah, I think that'll work. That'll keep stuff tight, but not too tight. Should be. Okay, so 80 past the bridge. Or I could split the difference and make it 100 millimeters. I'd put it right here. I would do that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. A little more relaxed. At 100, it'll definitely not put a lot of stress on the bridge. So we'll call it 100 millimeters. So that means that from here to here, or here to here, we're at 100 millimeters. And then all we need to do is add some room for controls and such at the bottom. Jack plate and a little control plate for the volume control, and strap will go there as well. So let's see, here's our jack plate. And it's clocking in at a little under 30 wide. Call it about 30. So let's see, from the string through back to the jack plate, you'd want at least 30. And then what else do we have? We got well, 30 would be enough room to glue on like a 55 or a 60 long panel for this guy. You'd have like 30 sticking over the body that gets glued and 30 sticking over the back edge. And this thing would go that way on it. So, yeah. So that gives you enough space to glue something. That would be right hard up against those, though. So you probably don't want to move all this back a little. Or just make the panel 25 or something. Nah, you probably want 30 to glue it. Probably move this back another 10. So that should be at least 40. And then this panel down here is going to be like 60. Yeah, 60 looks pretty good. And then how wide for all this stuff? 30 wide for this. And you couldn't really see that, could you? There's 30. So if we've got a panel about that wide going back this way, like that, like this, that should be okay. Tip the camera up here a little bit. And then, yeah, so it would look like the dash line. This is where the body would be. And so that part would stick out like that. That should be okay. And I don't really think it would need a back plate or anything. It's just going to be this thing sticking out, really. And that'll be up against the body, and the wires will just come under and hook up to it. So it should be relatively protected. And then it's a question of, from here, how much room you need for your strap lock. I was guessing overall that the width of the bodies at the back is going to need to be around 4 inches, figure an inch for the jack, an inch for this, and a couple inches for the strap lock, just to give it clearance. What that is in millimeters, I'm not quite sure, but so if that's there, then your strap needs to be out here somewhere. Which, yeah, a couple inches. And that would be the end of the body. And then your jack could be actually pretty much right under here. Now you want to leave some room. Where's the jack? We want this part of the jack. Like that kind of an idea. If I can get it to stand up here, it's not going to stand up, is it? Alright, so yeah, the jack would go here, and the body would end about here and about here. And yeah, that's more or less a scale drawing of the way it would work. So, alright, we got the size of that. This is going to be a 30 by 60. And we'll make this another 30. In there. And make that. Ooh, we can, well, this is only 50. Which should make the whole thing 30, 60, 110 wide. And the saddle's 100 wide. If we go to 60, which would be out here, it would make it 120 wide. Or you could shrink it all down to 100 wide. But the saddle is 100. No, the saddle's 140 wide. Sorry. It's 100 millimeters from the saddle to the string throughs. So 140 wide. Alright, to here's 110, so to here'd be 120. So 120, if we're already at 140 up here somewhere, it's not a big issue. So 30, 60, and then make this another 60. And that's your width at the bottom end. And then we figured out that you wanted to be from a string through this, wanted to be 40 at least. So this is going to be about like 10 in here. And that ought to cover it. Yeah, so string throughs, and then come down 40 millimeters, and that'll be in the body, and the body will be a total of 120 wide. So it'll be 140 here. And then it'll only be 120 here. So, yeah, it'll look more or less like this. It'll, however wide this thing is, 55 or... It's a 57, 58. $56. $56. So yeah, it'll be 56 wide up here. Actually, but the heel itself will only be 40. No, wait, this is going to get a traditional heel. So yeah, it'll be about 56 wide up here. And it'll get a traditional heel on it, like that. To match this thing. Which means we need to measure the length of this heel in order to, since we need to make a matching heel for this. Call it 115. Let's be more precise than that. 114, 113. All right. It's 56 wide. Should do this in two colors, one for width and one for length. Height. There we go, the third dimension. Now, it's going to be a flat top guitar like all of them. And the neck's going to stand how tall? Uh, 22 inches. It's looking like, nope, I'm reading that wrong. About 27 inches, 27 millimeters at the thickest point. Looks to be. Okay, so the next 27 tall. We already figured that the bridge was like close to 40, 38 or something. pickup is, looks like it's low enough. Yeah, it's only 20 millimeters tall. So that shouldn't be an issue. It's going to need a fair amount of shim probably. And we'll need 7 just to bring it up to the fingerboard plane. Okay, this thing will, if we're going 27 to a 38, then that's almost 10 mil higher. So this thing's almost definitely going to need some neck shim in order to get the correct brake angle. If the bridge is going to be almost 10 millimeters higher than this is. Because the nut is not 10 millimeters higher than this is. The nut slots are, oh, let's see. Actually, they're looking pretty high for a fretless, to tell you the truth. It looks like it's a regular fretted nut. I mean, that's not bad, but if we can even get the thing to focus, come on, you piece. Perhaps it's a case of lighting. Yeah, look at the number 1 string, man. That thing's a mile up off the fingerboard, so. But hey, it might work, right? If not, you can always file it. Okay, yeah, it's going to need some shim, probably. And okay, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.